Hello everybody and welcome back to The Last of Us. We are on the very last leg of this chapter before we reach the hospital and hopefully reunite with the Fireflies. We're gonna have to be very careful in this next section. We have very fast moving water to try and avoid the very best of our ability. Of course, Ellie can't swim, and if she were to fall into that, she would be in some deep trouble.
Great. Come on, jump.
You're gonna catch me?
I got you. See? You didn't even need me.
Let's get the hell off this thing.
But there's no real danger here. We've already defeated all the enemies and whatnot, and nothing to collect, so we're just basically moving on forward. Doesn't look very safe, though. I'm not all that confident in this.
Ellie, move.
And I was right. Just our luck. So you can hold on to one of these bars on the side of the bus and try and crawl forward. But this is in vain. There's nothing you can really do in this section. You'll hear Ellie on the top of the bus. Which I don't think is a good idea. I'm happy that she's trying to come and save us, but I don't think this is gonna end well. Now, it would be real shitty if she drowned right here. That would probably be the most anticlimactic ending to a video game ever. You got within inches of your destination, but sorry, she drowned before you could get her there. So just swim towards Ellie and pick her up, and then quickly surface before you drown. I'm getting stuck on some brush, so hopefully I can make it in time. Very close, but I made it.
Hands in the air.
She's not breathing.
Hands in the fucking air.
Come on.
Welcome to the Fireflies. Sorry about that. They didn't know who you were.
And Ellie?
She's all right. They brought her back. You came all this way. How'd you do it?
It was her. She fought like hell to get here. Maybe it was meant to be.
I lost most of my crew crossing the country. I pretty much lost everything. And then you show up, and somehow we find you just in time to save her. Maybe it was meant to be.
Take me to her.
You don't have to worry about her anymore. We'll take care of
I
her.
worry. Just let me see her, please.
You can't. She's being prepped for surgery.
The hell do you mean, surgery?
The doctors tell me the cordyceps, the growth inside her, has somehow mutated. It's why she's immune. Once they remove it, they'll be able to reverse engineer a vaccine. A vaccine.
But it grows all over the brain.
It does.
Find someone else.
There is no one else.
Listen, you were gonna show me where she...
Stop. I get it. But whatever it is you think you're going through right now is nothing to what I have been through. I knew her since she was born. I promised her mother I would look after her.
Then why are you letting this happen?
Because this isn't about me, or even her. There is no other choice here.
Yeah, you keep telling yourself that bullshit.
March him out of here. He tries anything, shoot him. Don't waste this gift, Joel.
Get up. I said get up. Come on. Move. I said move. Give me an excuse.
Which way?
What the fuck you doing? Keep walking. I said keep walking.
Where's the operating room? I ain't got time for this. Where?
Where? Top floor, the far end.
Well, we are in a whole heap of trouble now. It's just one man versus all of the remaining Fireflies. Despite the fact that these guys have been wiped out, and we haven't really actually met any legit Fireflies, this is a very, very, very tough final section of the game. So if you're playing on a harder difficulty, I would definitely recommend sneaking around because you're gonna need all the firepower that you can get. And for the most part, I'm going to try my best to sneak around, but the problem with the Fireflies is that they have very, very intelligent AI, and they also have body armor, so they're very, very, very bulky. You can also see that there are some supplies strewn about, so you can make things like nail bombs and Molotov cocktails and things like that. So I tried to sneak around, but as you can see, those guys are facing directly at me, and if I were to walk that way, I would walk directly into them. So I'm just going to go about this very, very slowly and very cautiously. I'm going to try and move as close as I can. And if I can, what I'm going to do is I'm going to group them together, and then that will give me the advantage to take care of them all at once, maybe with a cocktail or a nail bomb or something. But throwing that brick didn't really seem to do much. They moved to check out what the noise was, but they don't move enough so that it gives me freedom to get around them. And as you can see, there are a ton of them. Now, because I'm playing on a lower difficulty and I do have a full arsenal of weapons, ammo, and supplies and whatnot, if I do get caught, I'm not going to be too worried about it. I'm just going to go all out. But we'll see what we can do here. And again, remembering too that if you're on a higher difficulty, you may or may not get as many of these supplies, so that's something to keep in mind as well. For the most part, they're not really moving around a whole lot. It more or less seems like they're just on high alert. They're standing around, guarding all the exits, waiting for me to come to them, sort of thing. I could throw another bottle, but I don't really know how that's going to work out. Because they're standing right where I need them to go. Okay. I'm not seeing a lot of options here. I guess I'll throw one in this direction.
Yeah, I heard it too. Be careful.
And I get some of them moving. You can see there's still that group of guys over there, though. It's just not enough. I could throw a nail bomb over there or a Molotov maybe and take care of a couple of them, but I don't know that I want to do that either. They've seen me, so now they're going to disperse and look for me. And this guy's looking directly at me and doesn't see me, which is pretty funny. But I have a feeling I'm gonna get flanked, which is not gonna be good. I've put the Shorty and the El Diablo as my two smaller firearms because they are going to pack one hell of a punch. I don't want to be screwing around with my handgun and my revolver in this area. It's just going to waste too much ammo. So they've seen me, and there's not really any way out of this, unfortunately. I'm going to try and make a run for it. There's just so many of them. And they're just as fast as I am. I'm trying to get away from this guy, but he caught up to me. And his buddies are firing at me relentlessly. All I'm trying to do is run, but the bullets are kind of putting me into like a stun lock. I'm not even sure I went the right way. I just kind of tried to get out of the way, get into some cover. Now that I'm in cover, maybe they'll come to me kind of one by one and I can take them out. You can see here that the El Diablo is incredibly powerful. I can just take these guys out with one bullet. Upgraded rifle also does some serious damage. And I've actually found where I need to go. The West Wing. I somehow stumbled my way over there, so that's perfect. I'm gonna hide behind this desk, and these guys are gonna chase me in here, so I'm gonna heal real quick, take out my rifle, and I'm gonna take them out as they come down the hallway, because they are gonna flank me. I think there's gonna be guys coming from each side of the hallway, both in the direction that I came from and the direction also that I need to go. So this is kind of the best vantage point in this little hallway here. I don't know what happened to that guy's body. That was a weird ragdoll. But in any case, it doesn't matter. It looks like the coast is clear. And as you can see there, I had to use up a considerable amount of ammo because there were just so many guys. But I got out relatively unscathed. I still have enough equipment to make another first aid kit. I still have quite a few guns, and I actually just got some El Diablo ammo, so that is very, very nice. I also picked up an assault rifle. The Fireflies all carry them, and it's a unique weapon only found in this chapter, only carried by the Fireflies, and you can't upgrade it or anything like that. So I'm just gonna take a quick look around here. I do know that there are some collectibles still to be found in this area. There's also a shiv door and a couple of things too, but I don't remember if they're on this floor or if I have to keep going and they're on some other floors. So I guess I'll just have a look around. Some more supplies here. Go ahead and stock up on a couple of things while I have the opportunity. And this is the easier of the two areas. This is kind of the first floor, so to speak. We had to fight our way through to the West Wing, and then we can go up the staircase, and we're going to be fighting more Fireflies when we get upstairs. So that's why it's kind of recommended to save your firepower if possible, because we do have to fight even more Fireflies. It kind of makes me happy that we didn't run into them, because they're really insanely powerful. I can understand that though, of course, because this is the final leg of the game. And so they needed to make the final enemies powerful and whatnot, of course. So obviously nothing there. My collectible sense was a little bit off. I'm gonna have to look for the rest of the stuff on the next floor that we go to. I think this floor is safe, but I'm just gonna crouch and have a look around first because you never know. Here's a collectible here. This is a recorder from one of the surgeons.
April 28th. Marlene was right. The girl's infection is like nothing I've ever seen. The cause of her immunity is uncertain. As we've seen in all past cases, the antigenic titers of the patient's cordyceps remain high in both the serum and the cerebrospinal fluid. Blood cultures taken from the patient rapidly grow cordyceps and fungal media in the lab. However, white blood cell lines, including percentages and absolute counts, are completely normal. There is no elevation of pro-inflammatory cytokines, and an MRI of the brain shows no evidence of fungal growth in the limbic regions, which would normally accompany the prodrome of aggression in infected patients. We must find a way to replicate this state under laboratory conditions. We're about to hit a milestone in human history, equal to the discovery of penicillin. After years of wandering in circles, we're about to come home, make a difference, and bring the human race back into control of its own destiny. All of our sacrifices and the hundreds of men and women who've bled for this cause, or worse, will not be in vain.
So we get to hear some of the thoughts of what the people trying to come up with this vaccine are thinking. And this cause that they've worked, you know, so very, very hard towards. Some more supplies here. Nothing I need, though, really. I'm pretty much full up. We have another recorder. This one is actually one of Marlene's.
It's 5:30 p.m. on April 28th. I just finished speaking, more like yelling at our head surgeon. Apparently, there's no way to extricate the parasite without eliminating the host. Fancy way of saying we gotta kill the fucking kid. And now they're asking for my go-ahead. The tests just keep getting harder and harder, don't they? I'm so tired. I'm exhausted. And I just want this to end. So be it.
Some very, very dark words from Marlene. You have to remember that I think Marlene is in a very difficult position as well, because she's been looking after Ellie since Ellie was a baby, since Ellie's mother died. And here, ladies and gentlemen, is our final Shiv door. So we have our final Firefly pendant in this room. We've got more supplies, we've got some ammo, a melee weapon if you need one. Pretty good stash that's really going to be useful to finish up the game and whatnot. So I'll finish my thoughts. I have a lot to say about this final section and the ending of the game and whatnot. So I'm just going to collect these final couple of things. And then, because it's safe, I think this is a really good time for me to close out. We will continue on in the next video. Thank you all so very much for watching.